Look inside modern enterprise servers. Machine processes are handling tasks that used to take teams of people, with data streams that organize themselves dynamically. Developers see this automation, with AI now handling query optimization and automated tuning, and start wondering if they even need to learn traditional data management anymore. The reality is much more volatile. Without strict schemas or primary keys, an AI SQL generator will often hallucinate relationships between unrelated tables, creating reports that look valid but contain massive data integrity errors. This checklist shows the prerequisite stack. You cannot safely implement advanced tools like AI vector search or autonomous tuning until you have manually mastered the foundational logic of SQL and database design. If you try to deploy AI tools without that foundational layer, your systems will break. That makes rigorous traditional database training more urgent for a developer's career today than it ever was in the past. That brings us to Oracle Database Express Edition, or XE. This is the most rigorous environment available to learn those required structural foundations, and it costs absolutely nothing to download. Normally, when you hear free software, you expect a stripped-down, lightweight tool that holds your hand. XE is the opposite. It is an uncompromised, highly complex enterprise simulator. This chart shows the current landscape of free database options. Notice where Oracle XE sits. High on enterprise scalability and career value, but very low on ease of learning and setup. Then look at MySQL, sitting in the exact opposite corner. XE occupies this high-friction, high-value space because it forces you to learn complex administrative tasks like user management, performance tuning, and data encryption, skills you usually only acquire on the job inside massive corporations. Over the next few minutes, we will systematically break down the exact trade-offs of choosing XE over its competitors and identify precisely who should endure its steep learning curve. Because picking your first foundational database is not a simple software download. It is a decision that dictates your long-term career trajectory. Let's start with what you actually get. The primary input here is the engine itself. Oracle gives developers zero-cost access to the exact same core engine that powers their massive corporate enterprise solutions. The direct outcome is realistic one-to-one experience. You learn to write advanced queries using PL/SQL, Oracle's complex procedural extension, exactly as you would in a Fortune 500 server room. But there is a massive trade-off here. To offer this engine for free, Oracle enforces draconian hardware caps that completely prevent commercial exploitation. You are FARD-capped. A single-core CPU, up to 2 GB of RAM, and a maximum of 12 GB of user data. If you are trying to deploy a scaling startup application, these limits make XE completely useless. You will hit the ceiling immediately as your user base grows. But its failure as a production tool is exactly what makes it a perfect, isolated educational sandbox. XE is explicitly designed to teach, not to scale. Because you lack the hardware resources to be lazy, you are forced to heavily optimize every single line of your code. That restricted, difficult environment actually serves as the perfect training ground for the AI era. Working in XE means you have to handle indexing and data normalization entirely by hand. You cannot rely on modern cloud automation to hide your mistakes. This diagram shows how the eras connect. Foundation blocks of manual indexing and normalization build the intuition needed to securely manage advanced AI layers. If you apply that top AI layer without those solid blocks beneath it, the system cracks under poorly optimized queries. I know this requires a frustrating steep learning curve, especially compared to modern plug-and-play cloud solutions that promise to do the work for you. But the upfront time you invest in mastering these manual systems pays off by ensuring you control the AI, rather than the AI breaking your poorly optimized system. Of course, Oracle isn't the only option. When developers look for a free database, they usually default to the dominant open-source alternatives, MySQL and PostgreSQL. The matrix shows administration complexity and enterprise relevance across all three platforms. MySQL has advantages in speed and ease of use, dominating basic web development. Mastering Oracle XE provides the credentials required for high-tier enterprise roles, cloud engineering, and ERP consulting. But here is the core sacrifice. Choosing Oracle means giving up the vast, easy-to-read community support forums you get with open source. Instead, you'll be reading dense, highly technical enterprise documentation. Selecting between these databases isn't about finding the objectively best software. It's about matching the software's inherent friction to your ultimate career goal. Let's make this practical. This is the scenario match, designed to route you to the correct download immediately. This flowchart maps your objective. Path A is building web apps. Path B is learning open source. For these, avoid Oracle XE's overhead and download MySQL or Postgres. But on Path C, aspiring database administrators must choose Oracle XE to gain authentic enterprise credibility. Oracle XE is a specialized, high-friction tool. It should be actively avoided by the masses, but fiercely embraced by anyone targeting the enterprise sector. You might still be hesitating, wondering if climbing Oracle's notoriously difficult learning curve is actually worth your time, even if the software is free. Let's look at the return on investment on this matrix. Administrative skills like user management and performance tuning require intense effort to learn, but translate to enormous market value. Overcoming XE's intentional friction serves as verifiable proof that you can handle complex architecture. And that brings us right back to our opening hook regarding the AI-driven future of cloud databases. Mastering this older, traditional on-premise tool prepares you perfectly for what comes next. Here is the ultimate reality check of the industry. AI will not replace database professionals, but it will rapidly replace any IT professional who lacks the fundamental, structural knowledge of how these databases actually work. Oracle Database XE serves as a comprehensive, cost-free training ground. It is the definitive link between traditional data management and a highly paid, successful career in the modern AI technology era.